I've been thinking lately, what is the most important thing to me and this channel? And for me, it's creating a community online. I think to me, that is what the most important thing is. And it took a lot of thinking and a lot of going back and forth and just going through my content, my storyboards and all of those things just to find that out. But I think it's the most important thing to me, at least in 2024 and moving forward. So the way I want to build this community is to focus on some goals of mine. The first is my niche. My niche is tech, film, lifestyle, and reviews. And I think that is something that ultimately brings a community together. It brings a group of people together over something they can bond with, something they can learn from, and ultimately just something that I can go back and forth with a community on. The goal for me is collaboration. With this channel, my main goal when I originally started this was to collaborate with a group of people. And for me, YouTube is my go-to. I love creating on this channel. And my favorite thing is the communication back and forth with questions people have, takes people have, things even people disagree with me about. It's just one of my favorite parts of making YouTube videos. And then trust. To me, trust is something that you can't break. Trust is something that's real important. When I give a review, when I have a lifestyle, when I have whatever type of video it is, the trust I am building with you guys, my community, you guys, the people that follow along is the most important thing to me. Trust is something that cannot be broken. For me, why trust is important is because you could find so many reviewers, you could find so many people that do something similar to me, but if you can't trust them, you can't trust the things they're saying, then they're just another creator. So that's why to me, trust is something that is really important for me and ultimately the bond I'm building with you guys, my audience, my followers. And then the formats. There's something special about adapting with times. We've seen times where vlogging was big. We've seen times where streaming was big, where short form vertical content was big, where just talking to a camera was big, where the big cinematic edits were a thing. Something for me that is important is to adapt to whatever the world is offering. Because if I'm someone who is indulging in short form content, then odds are the audience is as well. So there's a lot of things where people don't grow with times. People don't ultimately go with whatever the trends are. And it's not so much following the trends, but it's adapting to times. And that's something that I've found real important to me. When vertical short form content became a thing, I was against it for months. For months and months and months, I did not want to create vertical content because it wasn't my niche. It wasn't the thing I was good at. It wasn't the thing I was into. Long form was really it for me. And when I was able to step outside of the box and create some short form content, it made me able to create a different type of content for a different type of audience. One thing that's nice is long form is my bread and butter. That's where I have the most fun. That's where I have my favorite time with creating is long form. It's creating a story. It's creating a storyline. It's creating an emotion and ultimately being able to spit that out to a camera, talk about it on camera and create a vision. And then short form came in and I was able to do that in smaller, more digestible doses for the era we're in where the attention span isn't that big. But as I'm creating more and more and I start to see the algorithm and the way things are working, it's like we're almost moving backwards back into long form content, which is something that's really special to me. And then when it comes to building trust and building a community, relatability is the most important thing or one of the most important things. If you can relate with me, if you can relate with the person on the other end of the camera, then it's something that you're able to bond over. It's something that you can kind of see my personality and take it in for what it is and just basically bond with me over it. And that's something that builds the trust. It builds the community. What's nice about this day and age is that anyone can create a channel. Anyone can have a community. And I think that's the beauty of it. And that's the light at the end of the tunnel. For the longest time, you're creating for the eyes of nobody. If you have 50 views or 50 subscribers, I'm going to get into the subscriber view thing later, but you're creating for an audience of nobody. So when you start to gain that traction, when you start to build a little bit of a community, I think that is something that is so important, is to be able to see that at one point you started at nothing. The most important thing when building a community that makes you stand apart from others is your personality. It's letting your personality shine. It's finding those things that are in your personality and just living by them. For me, I love to talk about cameras. I love to talk about tech. I love to talk about coffee. I love to talk about my studio. And that's something that I stand by. That's something I live by. And that's ultimately me letting my personality out, letting the quirks out, letting the weirdness out, letting the good out, letting the bad out, whatever it may be. Personality is what ultimately brings a community together. Sometimes it's tough to be in this realm and see so many other creators. I mean, there's so many people in YouTube doing something similar or the exact same as I'm doing. And what ultimately makes you stand out is what I talked about before. It's your personality. It's you being you. I don't want to be the next Casey Neistat. I don't want to be the next Peter McKinnon. I don't want to be the next MKBHD. I want to be Joseph Lipsen. I want to be my own self. I want to be my own channel, and I want my personality to shine with my audience. So for me, what is success? This year's success is growing this community. That is the most important thing to me, is being able to grow this community, have conversations within this realm of YouTube, and within each video, just have conversations with people. And that's the most important thing to me. And if I can do that this year in 2024, that's a success to me. So with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.